People argue about a huge amount of like whether he's a social climber, is he gay, blah, 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 a lot of different, because it's thematically so rich. I always saw Charles as, you know, because obviously he's so vocal in the book because he's the narrator, and then you take all of that away. When I read it, I was like, God, he seems so cold because he's so observational, and the fact that, I mean, he's a catalyst to situations, but only via his presence, really. He's very back foot. It seems to me he'd probably be the loneliest person in the world after his mother's died, and God knows what happened to him at school, and, you know, by the time he gets to Oxford, he's just a sponge for finding out who he is, and life and loves, and, you know, art, and, you know, as he says himself, he was desperately in search of love in those days, so, I don't know.
Tell me, Mr. Ryder, as an artist, what did you make of Brideshead?
I thought it was magnificent.
You think that? Really? And now here you are in Venice. What a lot of temptations.
People see him very much as a social climber, but the idea of male love, I think, you know, these two people are drawn to each other, and it's very interesting in this one, the fact that Sebastian's more overtly gay, which fits into Cousin Jasper's, you know, comment of sodomites, stay well clear, you know, because it's so that's nice, and it's like him needing somebody to love him, and it comes in the shape and form of another man who's attracted to him as well. And by bringing Julia into the fray, I would say it's as much an investigation about the complications of male love. It's an intangible quality that you can't really put your fingers on. You know, your best mate you've grown up with suddenly gets a girlfriend, you're like, I hate her. You know, because all the fun you have with your friend is suddenly gone, and you're like, well, what am I going to do? And I love the idea of these, you know, that Sebastian has in a way shown off, and they've been drawn into this world together, and that's his. I mean, Charles's love of Brideshead is because I think for me it's the only place he's ever been happy. They have their childhood and that one long summer together, alone. Is this where you live?
It's where my family live. Don't worry, you won't have to meet them.
Oh, but I should like to.
You can't. They're away.
Watchmen, yeah. So I think, to be honest with you, it got the director it deserved in Zach, because his attention to detail and his knowledge of everything is just like the most minute details. So you turn up to, you know, the set, and there's photographs that were shot like 3 months ago before the production. You're like, no one's even going to see this. And he's like, I know, but it's important. And you're like, okay, no, totally. I wasn't questioning that. And you know, and he went down to the detail of like trying to keep as much of the same palette as well. It was the lookout that really helped with that, because Zach was like, I don't know what he saw, some slightly effeminate ambiguities in that performance, to suddenly go and give you, particularly with everyone that had been linked with Adrian Veidt, I mean, you know, all there've been a load of fucking great actors before, and I think, and he ended up lumping with me, and so I felt a bit of pressure. So they brought Lucinda Syson up, who was the casting director, on a Sunday, and she had like an hour. She had it herself because she was very busy. Had like an hour window. But there wasn't a room to do it in the hotel, so we actually ended up doing it with me sitting on my toilet in my room with like a white sheet behind me, and then I got these two scenes, didn't know anything about the graphic novel, and they're like, just, you know, you've got to put yourself on camera. It's like, you know, you've just having worked with Emma Thompson and Michael Gambon, suddenly you're like, it just sort of keeps going into an area of like really interesting, and let's hopefully by working with that kind of stature of people who are really good at their job, and with such an extraordinary, again, it's like a Time top 100 novels, you know, it's the second one in a row. You're just like, well, it's all set up to be hopefully something great.
Sebastian and I are a couple of heathens.
I'm not a heathen, I'm a sinner. Let's get plastered.
They're very good, these friendships, but I think it's more bad with Sebastian. Tread carefully, Mr. Ryder.
Hello, Charles. Tell me this is fate.
Sebastian, you don't care about me. All you ever wanted was my sister.
I hope you didn't let Julia mislead you. Her future is not a question of choice. It gives me great pleasure to announce the engagement of my eldest daughter, the Lady Julia Flight, to Mr. Rex Mottram. I think you should leave now, Charles.
You banish me from your house. You poison my friendship with both your children.
Sebastian! Leave me alone!
I took you into my confidence and you betrayed me.
You thought you were getting me and the house together.
Is that really what you think?
You tell me, what does Charles Ryder really want?